So it should say AI in the future of local search. That's what you signed up for. That's what we're here for. My name is Tom Britt. As Kathy mentioned, I'm a proud board member of the BBB now. Um, have been accredited now for just about 2 years. And I joined the BBB and got accredited because I saw the value in my business being more trusted in the world today. And a lot of it has to do with AI and kind of where search is going these days. So I'm going to try to step you through this morning, well, I guess this afternoon, at a kind of a high level about how local search and Google search and how search is being impacted by AI. And this is all kind of fresh snow for a lot of you. So I'm going to try to keep this as elementary as possible. Um, and hopefully you'll appreciate that, especially those of you that may be a little intimidated by technology. Um, just a little background on myself. I own the Town Post Network. I started it. Um, excuse me. I'm also got a cold, so I'm trying to get through that. Started it back in 2004. Had a .com startup back in the day. I built the first e-commerce site back in 1996 in the state of Indiana. And in my early 2000s, I was a lead gen consultant, and so I was getting Town Post going and getting magazines going, but I was consulting for companies trying to build leads and trying to figure out how to get more traffic online, build SEO and all these other things. And so, in the process of building the magazine business, I would inevitably have a lot of people ask me questions about digital because they knew I knew WordPress, they knew I'd done Google Ads in the past. And it's kind of like an uncle with a pickup truck when you need to move. You always called them up out of the blue and asked them questions. I was kind of that guy for your website or social media questions. And I finally decided, we probably should make this more part of our business. And so 5 years ago, we launched townpost.digital. This is a website you guys can go to right now. We do a lot of different digital services, display ads, email ads, Google ads, streaming television. We build websites for people. And today we're going to talk about local SEO because, in my opinion, I've been around digital since it started back in the mid 90s, back when we were putting AOL CDs on your seat on the airplane. In my opinion, local SEO is the most critical, easiest fix that there is for your online visibility. And it's now become the linchpin of how you're being found online. So let's kind of do a little background here. Um, Most of you are very familiar with SEO and search engine optimization and being found through Google because Google has been the 800-pound gorilla for, well, since 2004. And so if I just do a simple Google search, which most searches these days are fairly simple, this is a search for Noblesville wedding florist. Now, I put this in because our client is the Little Petal Farm up in Noblesville. So I'm kind of showing off a little bit, but I'm also showing you a real life example of how search works. And in most people, when they look for a florist near them or whatever it is, that's the kind of search they put into Google. And if I go to Google and I put that in, this is what comes up. So you'll see at the top, Little Petal Farm, Desna's Design and Euphoric Events. This is what they call the map pack. And the map pack is what most people see on their phone because it's trying to show you a local search and the three most dominant people in that market of where they are physically from where you are. And wouldn't you know it, Little Petal Farm shows up number one, even though I'm here in Fishers, it's still showing up number one as a Noblesville wedding florist. And even better, right below it, you see it says Little Petal Farm Florist. That's their website. So we built them a new website just about a year ago. It's been up and we did SEO on it, of course, but that's how we gamed Google to make sure that she shows up. If you search for Noblesville wedding florist, that she shows up number one organically. That's those free links below the map pack. She also shows up on the map pack. And that's the game that everybody's been playing. I've been playing it for 20 years. Okay. But let's do a different type of search. Let's put in best rated Noblesville florist for an outdoor wedding. Now, for those of you that don't know, this sounds more like an AI prompt than it does a search. And what's happening is people are getting a little more sophisticated in their request on searches. And when I search this on Google, this is what comes up, an AI response. So Gemini, which is Google's AI engine, their answer engine, came back with this AI overview. Didn't give me a search result. It gave me an AI overview. Why? Because I use words like best, and had more context to the search versus just saying forest. And so what AI came back and said, it says top rated florist for an outdoor wedding in Noblesville include Bella Sorella floral design, which it says 4.9 out of 5 stars. It also put Little Petal Farm in the first sentence. Now, below it, it put the top 5 results. And so Bella Sora was number 1. Little Petal Farm came in number 2, then Hiddle Floral and these others. So why did it do that? Well, because Google's AI has scoured all these other sites and looked at reviews from other places besides this Google. And based on what I just searched for, the answer came back and gave me these as my top responses. Now, if I add the same thing into ChatGPT, ChatGPT, of course, is one of the top AI engines out there. And what it came back with is it says the top pick, the best overall for outdoor weddings was Little Petal Farm at 4.9. Now, Gemini had us listed number 2 on the list. ChatGPT has us number 1. And again, it gives some context here as to why we should go with Little Petal Farm. Now, this is a dynamic that's happening across the web. This isn't just specific to Indiana or Noblesville or people looking for forests. Nationally, AI is taking over search. Now, these are very conservative stats, but they estimate in 2024 that about 5.2% of all searches were done through an AI engine. In 2025, it was 15%. They're predicting this year it's going to be as high as 25% of all searches will be initiated in an AI engine. And then predicting by the end of next year, we should be up to about 40%. Again, I say these are conservative. I've seen other numbers and other data saying that we were at 40% already at the end of last year. So it depends on who you ask. And I've actually put this into various AI engines and asked the same question, and they give me very different responses. So the bottom line is nobody really knows. But if we could boil it down and be conservative, you know that AI search is taking over. And we need to be prepared for that. And we need to know where our business ranks. Because if we've been playing the old long game, like I've been playing for over 20 years, that game has changed dramatically. And you can't play that game going forward and expect to win in your business. So some key terms you need to understand, and these are very elementary. Again, I'm trying to keep this at 101 level, but SEO is a term you probably have all heard. That stands for search engine optimization. That's the game we've all been playing for years. That is the practice of optimizing your online presence to attract more business from relevant local searches on Google and other search engines. So those are all what we call searches, okay, traditional searches. AEO is what we call the new AI optimization or answer engine optimization. You're going to hear AEO a lot. The process of optimizing content to be the direct, definitive response provided by AI-powered search engines and voice assistants. So instead of doing a search, now you're doing what's called a prompt. A prompt is very different than a search, and prompts are what you initiate through an AI agent. So what's local SEO? I told you at the beginning, this is something we've really leaned into, something we're spending a lot of our time and effort on. And we have several packages, which we'll talk about towards the end, about what we're doing to help you combat this. But this is the ability to fine tune your online presence to increase your visibility, to drive more foot traffic. Local SEO is really ideal for businesses that rely, like retailers, rely on foot traffic, or you're trying to attract people from 3 miles from your front door. This helps you appear more often when searchers are searching for things. When people are looking on a map, or they put a near me. Near me is the #1 search term, by the way, on Google, and it has been since 2015. And also when people put in specific phrases like tire store in Indianapolis or something like that. You want to make sure your business shows up for that. And why is local SEO so important? Well, 88% of people searching for a local business will call or visit that business within the next 24 hours. So you've got to show up for these things. If you're invisible, you're not showing up for these searches, you're losing foot traffic in business. And 58% of all US adults have used voice search to find local businesses. So again, you can't think about necessarily structured information. You got to be thinking too about how people talk and what they say because voice search is part of AI. The last point I put on this slide right here is really important. Your local listing, your Google business profile, is really now as or just as important or more important than your website ever was. So if you've been neglecting it, you don't even know if you have a profile or if you've had a profile and you're not updating that profile. So take this as your wake up call to make this a priority for the rest of 2026. So let's talk about the old school way. How did we optimize ourselves before local SEO became a popular thing? Well, NAP consistency, name, address, and phone number. Search engines would make sure that your name, address, and phone number matched what other people said for you online. And if you had a lot of other people saying the same information they matched, they had more authority score and they would show you more often the search results. Inbound links. Um, you guys have all heard the word backlinks, right? That's a game we all played back in the day where you try to get as many people to link to your website. It would show Google that you were important because you had all these links coming to you, and therefore Google would show you more often in search results. That's kind of the old way. It's changed quite a bit. It's still important, and we'll get to that. But backlinks really is a game that a lot of people try to play and frankly abuse, in my opinion. Review quantity over quality. So again, we're all about trying to get as many reviews as possible. Yeah, we tried to get 5-star reviews, but we're trying to get as many reviews as possible every place we could. And that was the game. The game now has changed a little bit, and we'll go into that. Keyword stuffing was my favorite way. We've been doing keyword stuffing for years. I was doing SEO and lead gen back in like 2005 to 2009. And so if I wanted to show up for the phrase um, Noblesville wedding florist, then I would build a page called Noblesville Wedding Forest on the Little Petal Farm site. I would have Noblesville Wedding Forest as the headline on the page, so that H1 tag. I would mention weddings, forest, and Noblesville on a page, and I would stuff that page with many keyword phrases as that phrase as many times as possible. And what would happen is Google would crawl that page and see it mentioned a lot. I've got backlinks coming in, and voila, if somebody searched for that, my page would show up. Well, that doesn't work anymore. And keyword stuffing has been replaced on your website, and we'll go more into that. And the last thing here, and this was a huge shift in 2014. Um, Google made a pretty significant change at what they call the Google update. It's called the Pigeon update. Now they named them all after animals. So you've got the pigeon, the penguin, the possum, the medic, hummingbird. I mean, they've all got different names. But in 2014 was probably the biggest change because what Google started figuring out was with that near me being the number one search term, that it was really important to have localized search. And so they started aligning all search results around local, and they made every search by default a local search. And so that was a huge update. And because of that, it made other local search engines like Yelp and others have a lot more authority because Google realized they're not the only local game in town, that these other websites are out there, MapQuest and Bing and these other search directories are out there. And they wanted to make sure that they were leaning into them as well. So that 2014 update, which is now what, 12 years ago, really kind of changed the game. So how's it done now? Well, search engine optimization, SEO is still an important factor, but you now have to think about AEO, answer engine optimization. So how do you do that? Well, Google Business Profile optimization. Your profile is still very, very, very important. It's really the foundation of your visibility. And so make sure your data is complete. You're using images on there, so make sure you've got photos on your Google Business Profile. You're updating it regularly. It doesn't have to be done daily, or even once a week, but make sure you're doing some updates to it about maybe special promotions you're doing, a new hire you have, a new product you're featuring, something seasonal. When Google sees that your profile is being active and you're being responsive, they tend to reward you with more visibility. So those are all really important things, just hinging on that Google Business Profile. But now, in the old days, it's just having one. Now it's having one that's really optimized. Review velocity and sentiment. So again, um, you still want to get a lot of reviews, and Google reviews are probably the best, but getting reviews on Yelp and Facebook and other platforms, the BBB, those are all very, very important. But now it's not just about having reviews. It comes down to responding to reviews. It also comes down to what the reviews say, because now AI engines are reading what people say about you in hopes to respond to requests that somebody else might have the same type of question. So again, if I went to Little Petal Farm in Noblesville and somebody left a review for me and said, great florist, wonderful job. Okay, well, that's nice. But what I'd rather have them say is they did my wedding flowers. I had an outdoor wedding, and they did an excellent job with the season and gave me seasonal flowers, blah, 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 blah. Well, now those keywords that were put into that review are now something that AI engines are starting to harvest and read and starting to parse back. So when I put in Google or Gemini or ChatGPT, I'm looking for the best outdoor wedding florist in Noblesville, I got a higher likelihood of showing up for that. So again, reviews have to be, you still want to get them. You still want to get 5 stars if you can, but respond to them. And also what's being said in reviews is extremely important now. Number 3, optimize content, AEO. So making sure you have question and answers either on your website, you can list Q&As on your Google Business Profile. We actually can build schemas for you, and as part of our service, if you hire us to do this, we'll actually add some code to your website that will do Q&A answers that match what prompts are coming out of these various AI engines, and to help you get seen more often. So like the example says, a conversational quote like, who's the best plumber for emergencies near me? Instead of just saying emergency plumber, try to phrase it more in a conversational query. So if that query matches what somebody's putting in on a prompt on AI, you're more likely to show up. The fourth bullet point here is local intent and natural language. Again, a lot of voice search is now coming in through AI. That's what Siri is coming through. So instead of just putting in words and stuff, make sure it sounds more conversational. And the more the better. You don't have to be restricted on 4 or 5 questions. You could have 50 questions that all sound conversational in nature and how people would say it. And that's way better than just having keywords and key phrases like the old stuffing days. Hyperlocal backlinks. So this is where Towne Post comes in handy, and other local websites can come in handy. If you have a link from a local website like townpost.com, you had a story written about you, which, and even Torch Magazine, we write a story about you in Torch Magazine. Well, having that story then on that website, pointing back to you, mentioning you, talking about what you do, listing your services, other things, that's extremely important, not just with local SEO, but it's also becoming more relevant and important with AEO, because AI engines are looking for certain signals and certain words and things to signal them what to show. And so those backlinks now are more important than ever. And I highly recommend you just do an audit and see what you have out there and see if you can get more content put out there. A little tip, Reddit, 40% of all AI responses are referencing something from Reddit. So if you're not on Reddit, I suggest this might be your call to go get on Reddit and start poking around and making some comments and getting signed up for some channels and start referencing some things on Reddit because AI loves Reddit. 40% is a lot. So get involved in Reddit. Um, Second to last, user experience, core web vitals. Make sure your website is, make sure you have a website, number one. But number two, make sure that it's mobile friendly, it loads quickly. Some of the old websites we see a lot, they're on Wix and they've got videos in the background that it just takes forever to load. Google and other AI agents, they're doing prompts or searches, either one. They will start dinging you if your site is not being responsive or is being slow, or if it takes 10 seconds to load the homepage, they won't even show your page because they don't think that's being responsive to the consumer. So make sure your website is up to speed. And lastly, behavioral signals. Um, People clicking on your call link in your Google business profile, people requesting directions to you, getting website traffic to you. Those are all signals that not only search engines look at, but now AI is looking at because if there's a lot of activity going on, it's kind of like when you go to like a farmer's market and you walk by and everybody's kind of got the same number of people, but there's this one booth that has like 50 people crowded around it. Well, your initial reaction is, well, there must be something exciting going on there. I want to go see that. Well, Google looks at that and says, well, if your website, you're getting phone calls, you're getting direction requests, this must be a company that a lot of people are interested in. I'm going to show them more traffic because they must be responsive. So again, um, these are all, this is all things to help you in your strategy. As a summary, traditional strategies fail because they ignore the proximity and AI variables that now dictate ranking success. So if you did things the old way, the way I've been doing it for 20 years, it's not going to work much longer. And as AI overtakes SEO, as AEO takes over SEO, you guys need to start thinking about these things now before it gets away from you. Um, as it says here, for years, businesses operate on the belief that top ranking at their physical location guaranteed visibility across the entire city. That is no longer true. We got some reports we can send to you guys that will show you how you show up, not just where you are, but within miles of where you are. Modern search results are fluid. Potential customers searching just 3 miles away, likely you'll see a different set of results than someone staying right outside your door. So in summary, Google AI overviews now prioritize entities and answers over just keyword matches. Again, what's being said about you versus what you say about yourself. So the old strategy was keyword stuffing, backlinks, reviews, and your Google My Business page, which they changed the name of, or Google websites. I don't know how many of you had Google sites, but that used to be a big thing. Now the new strategy is your Google Business profile optimization and schema, quality local search engine citations. So again, Yelp and these other guys having quality links back to you, review sentiment and keyword phrases in those reviews, and content dissemination beyond just your website. The blue line here at the bottom is the best way I can summarize this. SEO took cues from your website. AEO takes cues from what 20 million other sources say about you. That's what AI is, guys. It's what 20 million other sites are saying about you, not just about what you've said about yourself. So you say, what can I do to affect my visibility? What can I do to fix this, Tom? I'm going to tell you really quick. Get your Google business profile fixed. Number one, do this and call me when you're done. So remember, the key driver for search and AI inclusion is your entity, your name, address, phone, but all the other fields in your Google business profile, make sure you've got all those fields filled out. I'm surprised how many people don't have a website link or they don't have a link to book appointments with them. They don't have categories listed. Audit your categories. Make sure you have more than one category. Most people just have one category. Once you've been approved for that, you can go back. You can add other keywords and key phrases and other services on your profile. So add as many that are relevant to your business as you need. Make sure your hours are updated. Don't just put 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. If you have a holiday coming up, if you're closing early for Good Friday, if you're closed for the Christmas holiday, put on your profile you're closed for those days. What that does is signals Google that you're being proactive and you're trying to let people know when you're open and you're servicing your clients by letting them know that you're going to be closed. They love that. Services is keywords. Yeah, like I said, don't just put you're a plumber, put your have an emergency water heater repair and other long tail voice search intent. Those are all things you can add in your Google Business Profile. It doesn't cost you a dime. Also, it's real important that you request reviews and you also respond to reviews. I don't know how many people I pulled scans on and looked at their profile, and they've got 300 reviews and they want to respond to 50 of them. Well, you need to respond to all of them. Google wants you to respond to every one of them. Even if this is a 5-star with no comment, respond to it. Say thank you for the 5-star. You know, love to have you come back. The second thing you can do is local link building. This is a little harder to do without a service. There are services online. We provide a service I'll get to in a second. There is a punchline here at the end, by the way, of some things we do for you that are services to help you with this. But sponsor local events. Get your logo on websites that link back to your website. AI loves the fact you're involved in your community. If you're just sitting at home and you don't sponsor little league teams, you're not sponsoring anybody, you don't put your logo out there, you're not going to get as much AI love as the one who does. So competitively, make sure you're always shining bright in your community with supporting local causes. Make sure your BBB profile is accurate, it's up to date, that all your NAP, name, address, phone matches, your services are all on there. Make sure that profile is as robust as possible. And BBB actually allows you to have some other things that the Google Business Profile doesn't have. So the more stuff you can put on there, the better off you are. Again, propagating more content out there about yourself that gets scanned and picked up by AI is great. Local news sites, get with Towne posts, get with other people, try to get stories written about you, get those links back to you and your website and your profile and your Facebook page. Make all that stuff sing because you want local news sites telling your story because AI loves a good story and they will parse that back to people looking for those in their prompts. Press releases. I wasn't a big fan of press releases up until the last few years, but you actually can write a press release about a new product or hiring somebody for a new person and write it in a good format, put their picture with it, put on your Google Business Profile, and there actually are press release services out there. You can put it out to hundreds, if not thousands, of online sites, and some of these are free. Some even pay $15. You get on 1,000 websites. So do press releases. Again, propagate your information as far as you can. And lastly, on this local link building, correct inconsistencies. Having your name mentioned on Yelp or localsearch.com or Bing or any of these other local sites, having your name be wrong or your address doesn't match, your phone number is wrong, those actually work against you when you're trying to get found with AEO and local SEO. So if you can, try to go claim those directory listings if they're wrong, and then you can modify them. And it's a long process, but it will go a long way in getting you more search visibility. So you ask a question, well, what's my current visibility look like? I mean, how do you know where to start? Am I invisible now, Tom? That's a great question. And I've got an answer for you. If you go to townpost.digital on our homepage and you scroll down, you're going to see something that looks just like this. And this is a free marketing report scan we'll run for you, and it'll get emailed to you when it's done. It's kind of automatic. But what this will do is it will do a scan not just of your local SEO, but it's going to look at a lot of different things and give you kind of a high level overview and score a lot of different things. So again, Kathy, if you don't mind, if you put townpost.digital in the chat, they can just click on that and just go over and run this scan while we're talking. What you're going to see on these scans, this is this Towne post. This is a Little Petal Farm, but you'll see on the top left there, it's got an overall score of 60%, business details 35, techno stack, which is basically you have tag manager as your Google Analytics set up, some other things with your website. How's your Google Business Profile look? Is it in pretty good shape? What are your listings, which are those other sources, those other citations on other search engines? Are those matching your Google Business Profile or not? And how accurate are those? Your online reputation. Are you getting reviews? I can tell you that Little Petal Farm got 12%. She got a low score on this, not because she didn't have good reviews, but because she's not responding to them. And so she signed up for our base package, which we don't respond to reviews. She has to do that herself, and she gets behind on it, and she's a little bit behind on her reviews. So she got dinged for that. Website performance, how fast is it? How good is it? And your SEO analysis, how optimized is your website? Those are all things you'll see in that report. Highly encourage you to get one of those done. On the AI side of things, um, AI visibility reports are, I will say, still in beta is the best way to put it. I know Danielle Petty is on the line with watching this now. She works with us, and we've been working on this together for over a year. There are several tools out there that will give you kind of an overall score and allow you to track your AI visibility. Um, but there's not too many tools out there that go beyond that. So these are two websites you can run. Again, Kathy or Monica, if you put SEMrush, semrush.com in the comments and ahrefs, ahrefs.com. These are two you can run online. It gives you kind of a quick number or a quick score. I ran a Little Petal Farm on SEMrush, and you see the AI visibility here says 19. That's that little number right here. So it kind of gives you an overview, but it doesn't really go into a lot of detail. And this it's scanning ChatGPT, AI mode, Gemini. Those are the only ones it's actually doing. If you do the marketing analysis, so if you do this one, okay, what we will do is send you another AI tracking report, and that's what these look like. Now, this is one we did for Waterfront of West Clay. For those of you that don't know, Paul Schutman was a Torch Award winner in 2019. He's a home builder up in Carmel. Great guy. He was on the cover actually of Torch magazine in the fall of 2025. But Paul, I'm sorry, he was in January of 2026. He was just this January. But we've been doing it. We built this website. We've been doing local SEO for him. We are doing AI tracking and we're doing AI optimization for him. So we do AI optimization. We've been doing it in beta now for about a month and a half, 2 months. This is his score. He's got a 92% score in AI. And this report, which I'm going to show you when we get done with this PowerPoint, I'm going to scroll down through and show you all that comes with this report. But this is scanning ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, Grok, AI mode. So it's scanning other AI engines besides this Gemini and ChatGPT. But he's got a 92% score, which is really good. I will go into that in just a second. Here comes the punchline. You knew Tom's going to sell you something. Here you go. So if you go to townpost.digital, we do have 3 different packages. The base package is $149 a month, and that just does the local SEO optimization. That gets your citations done on the other search engines. It syncs them all up to make sure they're all accurate. We do up to 72 different local search engines. So depending on that report you get back, you'll probably find out you're probably on about, most people are in about 20 to 40 different search engines, and they'll find out there's problems with those. We will actually get you up to over 72 search engines and make sure they're all accurate. So they'll all have exactly the same information as your Google business profile. The middle one here is called Booster Package. This is the one I highly recommend because you'll notice at the bottom we've added AI search tracker. Search tracking is that report I just showed you. So it looks a lot like this, and it comes to you monthly, but it shows you where you're showing up in AI, and it gives you and us kind of some marching orders as to how to get you more visibility, who your competitors are in AI, and really help starting to dial in how to get seen more in AI search. The last package is called Mission Control, and this is what we're offering right now for just $299 a month. With this, we actually are starting to do some AI optimizations to your profile and some other sources. Other sources meaning like your website, if we have access to that, and some other things. Now, I'm going to say all this with the caveat. This is all in beta for us as well. This is going to be changing as we go. Some of you, $2.99 a month will be more than enough to optimize you for AI and keep you ahead of the curve. And some of you have some large industrial companies or have, thousands of products you're trying to sell. That $2.99 won't touch it. So I'm just giving you the caveat. That's a placeholder right now. We're doing a beta for a lot of small companies. Most of you in the BBB, that's going to be more than enough. But just telling you, we might need more than that down the road. I won't go into all the details, but the booster package, the big thing that we do here is the AI search tracking, review response. We actually respond to reviews if you don't within 72 hours. We do review generation, so we'll send out emails or text messages on your behalf monthly to help get more reviews to your profile. We'll optimize your profile on Google. You also get some reporting that comes to you every month. The reporting is pretty cool. It not just shows you your activity on your profile, but it shows you how you're ranking locally within miles for different search terms and different things. It's a heat map. It's really cool. Again, if you fill out that report through townpost.digital, that marketing report, you'll see that survey at the very bottom, that little heat map of how you show up. That's all part of that. But you get that reporting as part of the booster package. And the big difference here with Mission Control is the AI search optimization and the Google My Business posting. So we'll actually have access to your Google Business profile. We'll actually post on that periodically throughout the month to optimize you for AI results and for Google results. And so that optimization piece is something that's very valuable for you. And if you don't have time to run your business, you don't have time to learn AI and keep up with all this stuff, for $2.99 a month, we'll take care of it for you and make sure you stay on top of it. And we'll make sure that you're not going to be lost or invisible due to AI. You actually can go to townpost.digital and you actually can just buy these on our website. So you'll see this on the local SEO packages page. If you click on these orange buttons, it just asks you a few questions. You can actually just sign up and just buy it right there online. The last thing I'm going to show you, and then we'll do questions here at the end. There's my little thank you page. I worked really hard on that, so make sure you guys saw that. I'm going to stop sharing that for just 1 second. The last thing I want to show you guys is what an AI, let me get this closed here real quick. What an AI scan, what an AI visibility report looks like. So let me pull this up for you really quick. So I'm going to share. Let me do this again. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. You can tell my Zoom skills are not really that great. So this is what an AI tracking report looks like. And these are tools that are they're all in beta. So nobody's got it figured out yet. That's the takeaway. But number two, these tools are at least helping us get some insights on what is going to be great. So again, this is waterfront of West Clay. You can see here, so the way we track AI is we come up with 50 prompts using keywords or phrases and conversations that people might put into Siri or might put into a chat GPT or to Gemini search. And then what it does is it scans it and tells you, are you showing up in the first 5 for that response on these different engines? And you'll see I'm showing off here because 92% in AI and visibility for like a home builder is unheard of. If you guys run your scans on your sites, and I'm not saying that they won't be good because hopefully they are, but usually what I'm seeing when I run a first scan is about anywhere from 12 to maybe 20% visibility. The fact we're 10 for 10 on keywords, we're 49 out of 50 on prompts, and we're appearing on all 6 AI engines right now is extremely, extremely good. So I am showing off. I feel like I got my car to car show right now and I've got best of show. But you can see these prompts, and these prompts, we're tracking these across all these AI engines to see how we're showing up. And that's how we track it. So there is some science to it. There is some technology behind it. For that $2.99 package for the Mission Control, we will make sure your numbers hopefully look as good as this in a short amount of time. Just so you know, this took us about 5 to 6 months to get him up to 92%. It wasn't easy, um, but we're hoping to get him up to 100%, hopefully within the next couple months. But as AI is still changing and the tools are still adapting and trying to catch up, all we can do is chase the same rabbit and hope we can stay up with it. But that is the end of my presentation. I'll turn it back over to Kathy. And if there's any questions that came up along the way, or if you guys have questions now, if you want to put them into the chat, I'd be more than happy to answer any of those that you might have.